guys, today we are going to be taking a look at a 2017 Ford Escape SE with the SE Sport Appearance Package. Now what the Sport Appearance Package gives you is black accenting around the whole vehicle. So coming to the front fascia of the vehicle, you have a black and chrome grille, black headlights with a little bit of chrome in them, the black fog light plate right here, as well as your 235/45 R19, so 19-inch rim, glossy black on Continental Conti Pro Contact. Pretty nice tires. This specific one is front-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive is an option on the SE and above. It has a 1.5-liter EcoBoost. Coming to the window sticker here. It's going to be a little hard to see, but basically it has the SE technology package with Sync 3, the reverse sensing system, these black roof rails, which are not a part of the SE Sport Appearance Package. They are actually part of the SE model as an option with the technology package. You do have blind spot on this one, so it is fairly loaded. It has a panoramic Vista roof, so panoramic sunroof, power lift gate, leather wrapped steering wheel, the cold weather package, all weather floor mats. So for $31,000 for an SE, you are getting a lot of technology goodies that you would want in it. So we're going to take a walk over to the driver's side of the vehicle and take a look here. On the door panels, you have padded upper armrest, hard touch plastic here, padded here, and the rest of the door panel is hard touch plastic. You have a little spot for an umbrella. Ford has been doing this now for a couple of years, and it's kind of nice. I don't really see many people use it, but it is a nice feature to have. Here are your partial leather and carpeted seats. They are very comfortable, more than I would expect for a cheaper small SUV. Now this is the key for the vehicle. This model does not have the smart key access system. Basically lock, unlock, panic in your trunk. You do have a power lift gate, in which I will demonstrate later. Now starting the Escape is super easy. Key in the ignition, turn to start. I do like that this has a key. I am not a big fan of push start, but push start is not a bad option. That would get you the door handles and the smart key, so you could pull the door handle and open it. So right here, this is your steering wheel, the leather wrap steering wheel you get with the SE Sport Appearance Package. It has some decent side bolstering as well as white stitching. You do have your steering wheel controls here. You can get adaptive cruise control on the SE, which I was very surprised about. But you do have your regular cruise control, your control for your center screen here, as well as your media controls and some paddle shifters on the back. So if you want to have a little bit more fun, sporty driving, you can manually shift it. Down here, this is a 6-speed automatic transmission. It is paired to the 1.5 EcoBoost engine. I will list all the power information when I get under the hood. You do have a sport mode, which makes the shifting a little bit quicker and all of that sorts. Down here, you do have a little bit of storage for your phone, one USB port, as well as a 12-volt power outlet. Here are your cup holders. They are decently sized. I can fit my large Tim Hortons drink in here, and there's no issues with room or anything, and I feel like I could put another one right there. Another storage for your phone or some pens or chapstick or something. So there's quite a bit of storage in here, surprisingly, for how small the vehicle is. You can definitely tell that this was based off the Focus with the dashboard. Here is your dual zone automatic climate control. This is really nice to have, so that way if your passenger is always cold and you're always hot, you guys can basically be comfortable. You do have 3-stage heated seats in the front. I do love this climate control layout here. You actually have buttons, and it really makes it have a nice feel. It has a quality feel to the knobs here, and they don't really shake around too much, which is a big gripe I've had with a few vehicles in my past. Down here is your auto start stop defeat, as well as your traction control off, which you might not want to push in this vehicle because it does have torque steer if you do not get the all-wheel drive. Kind of expected from a front-wheel drive vehicle, but it's not as bad as some of the other front-wheel drive vehicles I've driven. Here's your 2-tier glove or center console, I must say, instead of glove box. It is actually really deep. You could probably fit an iPad mini in here, maybe even a full-size iPad. You do have a little rubber thing down here to keep stuff from sliding around. You have another 12-volt power outlet and another USB port for either you or your passenger if the front one's being used. Coming around to the rear of the vehicle, this is where I'd sit. I'm about 5'9", and it is actually really comfortable back here as long as you put the headrests back up. There's plenty of space for me to sit back here. The seats do recline, so you could honestly take a nice long trip and it'd be comfortable. The ride in this car is also really comfortable. Down here, you do have a 150 watt outlet, as well as some air vents, which is really nice to have in the back seat. You don't really see that on a lot of modern vehicles now. They kind of eliminate that for the cheaper models. And I'm not saying that this model's extremely cheap, but it's not the titanium. So I would expect Ford to put the rear vents in the titanium and not the SE, but I'm glad to see that. It is a great implement. Right here you do have some storage for something or another. I'd say it's your mat pocket, but you do have mat pockets back here, even though they'll probably be used for iPads or something of that sort. You do have a center armrest with 2 cup holders. It is leather, so it's pretty comfortable. I'm not a big fan of how these are right in the center. I would have liked to maybe see these down here in a cup holder or positioned differently, because it could get uncomfortable if you're sitting here and you put your arm right there. As I mentioned before, this vehicle does have a panoramic sunroof. It does have a shade as well. They are both power sliding and automatic. So if you don't want sunlight in here, you can get a little bit of sunlight out. If you want a lot, you can bring it in. Also, you do have a wind screen here, so you don't get the really annoying popping sounds you get when you open a sunroof fully normally. The door panel materials in the back do not follow through, unfortunately, but you do have a padded armrest. The rest of the door is hard touch plastic. They've honestly really made an effort to fix their interior problems with the last one. I'll demonstrate that by looking at the front here like this. As you can see, there is not as many gaps on the dashboard as there was in my previous video of a 2016 Escape. They also made the dashboard soft touch plastic, or soft touch leather or rubber, whatever you want to call it, right here, and then way at the back it's hard touch plastic. So if you ever put your hands up on this dashboard, or if you unfortunately got into a rear end collision and your head went to the dashboard, it wouldn't be as bad as if it was all plastic. My main gripe about this car is the Sync 3 and how it is placed on here. You do have Apple CarPlay and you do have an 8-speaker audio system. It is a decent audio system. It lacks a little bit of bass, but for what you get for the price of the vehicle, I wouldn't complain too much. I do wish that this center screen was pulled out more and flush with the plastics they put around it, but I'm glad to see you can get Sync 3 in an SE. Up here, you do have your panoramic roof controls. As I said before, they are automatic, as well as your sliding shade. It is 2 stages. But if you want to close up the cabin and make it less hot in the summer in here, you can. I honestly would leave this open all the time if I had one in my vehicle, but some people don't want this, but if you get certain packages on the Fords, you will get a discount on your lease price or your buy price. Right here is where you can put some sunglasses or glasses. It's a little flimsy and I don't care too much for it, but it serves its purpose for how expensive the vehicle actually is. Now, your sun visors, you do have a light. I do not like that light. It looks like it's from the 80s, but it serves its purpose again. Also, the sun visors are covered in a nice, I'd like to say like a leatherette or rubber. It actually kind of feels nice. I remember when they were in the 2016 models, they kind of just felt like a hard piece of cardboard. These are nice and padded, along with the headliner too. The headliner is really nice. It's a big upgrade from the 2016. It's just one of those small things you don't notice when you look at the cars. You do also have grab handles on all 4 doors. They're dampened, so they will not snap back or sound bad. You do have your LED lighting all throughout the vehicle. The main controls for that would be up there. Coming to the trunk of the vehicle, you do have a power opening tailgate. Very nice to see. You do not have the kick foot activated one, but that comes if you have a smart key system. Here are your all-weather floor mats. I'm glad to see that they are pretty decently constructed. Back here you do have another 12-volt power outlet, as well as some storage for maybe some groceries or things that would be flying around back here that you don't want. Down here you do have a spare tire. Very nice to see a spare tire and not just to fix a flat kit. So if you do unfortunately get stranded, you have a way of at least getting somewhere. Also, your jack, your fuel fill for the capless fuel filler, they are stored here too. You do have room to store some other things if so needed. And again, you do have the power lift gate, so you do not have to lift it. Coming to the passenger side here, you have another umbrella storage area. The same seating material, a little pocket, and maybe if you want to put a phone or something of that sort over there. Door panel materials, of course, carry over from the driver's side. You have a little bit more storage here, and a storage for a cup holder, and whatever else you choose to put in there. Ford has also given us some different piano black finish. It's actually pretty finger resistant compared to my mother's 2016 Edge, and I do appreciate that they put this in here. I do wish they would have put it over here on the door handles too, but it gives the interior a little bit nicer look. Here's your glove box. It is pretty big. You could probably fit an iPad in here, a full-size one. Really deep. It is dampened, not covered in felt, but it serves its purpose. Coming to the engine of the vehicle, you do have Ford's 1.5 EcoBoost engine. I will list the power specs in the description. Sorry, I didn't know where the flash was. It is a turbo engine, turbocharged engine, pretty powerful from what I can feel. Like I said, I will list the power specs across the screen in the reference. Alright, now driving the 2017 Escape is actually really nice. It does do well over bumps. I know they do good in the snow, as I have some relatives in my family that have one, so if you live in a more northern area, you won't have to worry. You also can get the all-wheel drive, which is the intelligent all-wheel drive. So basically, when you're driving down the road, it will take the power from the rear wheels, so you're not using as much fuel. Now, this vehicle does get 30 miles per gallon highway, and it's really surprising that that is the rating for it, because this vehicle actually has quite a bit of power for a small crossover SUV. The Chevy Equinox only comes with a standard 4-cylinder or a V6, and it doesn't really get that kind of fuel economy rating. I think it's a little bit lower. I cannot say for sure, but I feel this vehicle is probably a little bit nicer than the Chevy Equinox. And if you have an opinion of this vehicle or a vehicle like this, I would definitely go take a drive of a Ford Escape before you just go out and buy anything. Now, like I said before, it does have quite a bit of power. This vehicle also has the blind spot information system, blind spot, whatever you want to call it. It's not an information system. The blind spot monitoring system. That means basically if somebody's in your blind zone area, you will be able to see with a dot on your mirror that there is, in fact, somebody there. Now, one thing I want to demonstrate in this before I end this review is the auto start stop technology. Now, in the past, vehicles have not been very good with this, and I know quite a few vehicles that still have trouble. But Ford seems to have gotten this down. You bring the vehicle to a stop, your engine shuts off. And now I'm going to demonstrate it a little quickly. But basically, if you let off the gas and switch immediately to, or let off the brake and switch immediately to the gas, it doesn't hiccup or do anything like that. It just goes. And it's very smooth. Now, most of the time you won't be accelerating like that. You'll be at your stop sign and you will just be letting off the brake, and it'll have enough time. It's a lot better than even some of the like Mercedes and BMWs. They really have worked on that, and now that they have implemented it into the Escape, it's just been a really good system, and it doesn't annoy you. I would feel if I drove this vehicle on a daily basis that I would probably never turn it off just to save fuel, because it really doesn't affect your driving as much as some of the other systems do. Now, if you put it in sport mode, it will defeat the auto start stop, and it will let you spin a little bit of your tires more. Again, I am extremely surprised at how quick this vehicle is for a 1.5 four-cylinder. Now, they do say turbos make all the difference nowadays, and fuel economy, but if you don't drive it right, you're not going to be getting what the EPA says you will be. So, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and have a great day.